anybody's here with me, can you let me know in the chat? I need to pull my hair out of my face. I am using Restream. So to be able to show something in the chat, connect your Facebook stream to, or your Facebook profile picture to Restream so that you can start. Let's see. I'm new at this. This is a new platform that I'm using. So is it working? We'll see. It should be in my we're having some technical difficulties. Let's see. Captions. Okay, let's see if that works. It says that we're live. So I don't have very long. I do this between 12 and 12:30 for a reason. First of all, because you don't have a lot of time. So I'm trying to figure out where the camera is. And second of all, because Enzo, my youngest, gets off the bus at 12:30. So I can make this short and sweet and pack in a lot of information in just a few minutes. So I hope if you're not watching live that you're watching the replay. And if you are watching the replay, write in the comments #replay. And today is a Wednesday workshop. So I'm so excited. I'm sitting on my floor in front of my fireplace. This is my favorite place to sit. I am so excited to bring these Wednesday workshops to you because not only am I going to be able to share valuable things with you where I feel like I don't know when to share them. That's my phone. But I'm also able to bring other people into these trainings to really dial in on the trainings that you want to help grow your business, to help improve your life, improve your health, improve your family relationships, improve your habits and routines. That's really what I'd love to focus on. So for the next few minutes, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to do screen sharing yet. So we are going with imperfect, and imperfect is my word for 2021. So today you're getting an imperfect training, but I'm just letting you know that at the end of this training in my Facebook group, I will be sharing the PDF that I'm talking about. Have kids who are doing school and they're all curious as to why I'm talking to my computer. I'm going to be sharing the PDF that I'm talking about with you today that I'm training you on. I'm going to share it in my Facebook group. So if you would like a copy of this PDF, head on over to my Facebook group and join it. It's called HealthyMe HealthyWe Crew, because when you're part of the crew, then you get all the good stuff. That's where I share my recipes. It's where I share valuable PDFs. And it is where I will be sharing these trainings. So right now I'm doing this on my profile page, but it's not staying here. So if you're not joining live, then you have to watch the replay in the Facebook group. And I hope that you will join me live, but I also hope that you'll join the Facebook group so you get to take advantage of all of these extra bonuses that I'm going to share with you. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today is meal planning and prepping secrets. And so many people have reached out to say, this is something I really struggle with. right? You're working, you're going to school, you have kids who are going to school, you're a single mom or a single dad or even a married couple, both working full time. And often it is so overwhelming to even think about what to put on the dinner table at the end of the day. Now, why do I talk about dinner? First of all, because it's the one meal that we usually pay attention to, right? Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, yada, yada, yada. Nobody at the end of the day thinks, well, I'm glad that I ate breakfast today because I don't get to eat dinner. We come home from work and dinner is what is on our mind. Second of all is because you need to take care of yourself first before you can take care of others. And unfortunately, and fortunately, as a parent, your thinking is reversed. You think, I need to get home and put dinner on the table and serve my kids before I can take care of myself. And what that does is empties your cup a lot faster, and then you're not in a better place to serve them or do the work that you either enjoy doing, have to do, or want to do. And so it leaves you in a bad place. So first of all, one of the secrets to meal planning and prepping is to make sure you are doing this and you involve your health first. It's like the airplane scenario. And I know that you've heard this story before, right? But and in case you haven't, um, when you get on an airplane, when you board a plane, and the flight attendant goes through the whole spill of the instructions of what to do in case of emergency, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to put the oxygen mask that falls on yourself first, not on your family. Because if you are not taking care of yourself, then you will no longer be in a position to serve and help others. And as an entrepreneur, as a working parent, that is where you feel like your greatest worth and your purpose is taking care of others, right? So you have to take care of yourself first. So that's number 2. And number 3 is you are paving a way for your family, your kids, whoever you are influencing, to follow in your footsteps. So what do you want them to follow? Do you want them to follow your example of how you're taking care of yourself? Or do you want them to develop good habits of taking care of themselves and becoming confident and competent in knowing what foods are good for them and what foods will help them to succeed in life? Because your health influences everything. It influences everything, my friend. So it's really important to remember these 4 things. And what I want to share with you today is a meal planning. I call it the perfect meal plan cheat sheet. And really, it's more than one cheat sheet, but it is the plan simplified that I use to help me plan a whole month's worth of meals in less than an hour each week. And it helps me to know how I can use the food I have in my kitchen without having to go to the grocery store every single day and plan for a recipe that I find that's going to take me 2 hours because I haven't prepared myself to mentally use a recipe that I haven't used before, and be spending that much time in the kitchen to learning something new. And it's all fun and good, but it becomes more stressful and more draining and more of a frustration than it does to become more of a delight, more of an enjoyment. And then you can't even sit down to enjoy the food because you haven't put dinner on the table until 9 o'clock at night. You know what I'm talking about? So with that being said, excuse me, the first step in your meal planning and the first step in this guide that I really wish I could share with you. Let's see if it will let me. Let's see if I can share the audio as well. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm going to share this. You should be able to see my screen and hopefully see me at the same time. I can't see me, so I hope that you can see. But what I want to share with you is this perfect meal plan cheat sheet, okay? The first page is this one right here. And I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to make this big. Okay, so right here you see 4 different categories. So the first thing you want to do is, and maybe I should share this. I'm going to share this going backwards, okay? The first step in planning and preparing a meal is to follow these 4 steps. The first one is prepare, the second one is cook, the third one is serve, and the fourth one is close. And we don't often think of closing dinner off, but we all have to clean up after dinner, and it's something that we all dread doing, especially if we haven't been doing it along the way. And that's the secret here is you are starting at with the end in mind. And maybe I'll move this page to the beginning because this really is something that you should start with, is writing out the tasks and the food that you can prepare before you even start cooking the meal. Okay. And at the top of this sheet, I want you to write whoever can help you in the kitchen. Is that your spouse? Is that your kids? If you have more than 3 kids for these 3 columns, then I want you to, split the columns in half and write out however many people can help you in the kitchen so that you are not only preparing tasks before you are stepping in the kitchen, so half your cooking is done for you, and making sure that you are not doing all the work. So those 2 things are really important in the preparation. The second one is cooking. And you want to make sure that you have a recipe planned and knowing what you're adding, if you're making it one step better, which is something that I teach and recommend for every meal that you make. Because if you change just one thing and make one thing better, you eat 3 meals a day, typically. And if you don't eat 3 meals a day, or if you eat 3 meals a day and you have 30 days or 31 days a month, that's 93 meals, excuse me, I don't know how to do my math. 93 meals that you have improved in your life. And that's where you will see the results, is the consistency. So if you make things one step better, then that's what you want to focus on. So make sure that you know what you're cooking, what the recipe is, what on-hand food you're going to add to it to make it one step better, and what method you're going to use. Are you going to use your Instant Pot or your crock pot today because you have less time? Are you going to use the oven because you can put something in the oven when you get home because you'll get home early today? Or is it a method where you want to cook on the stovetop because it's quick and you're throwing leftovers together, for example? And then who to serve. So where are you serving it? Is it pizza and movie nights, or you're eating it in the living room? Is it a formal dinner? Is it a family dinner so that you're having, you need more than just your dining room to serve it? All of those things come into play in making sure that this goes off enjoyably and quickly, and you're not spending all day in the kitchen like Thanksgiving dinner, right? And then finally, you close the meal. And closing doesn't have to just happen at the end. It can happen along the way. And that's something that I teach in my One Step Better consulting, is to learn how to play games in the kitchen with your kids to make sure you're cleaning up along the way, to involve a principle that I call the touch it once principle, so that you are not putting away things that you could have put away after using them, and then making sure that everybody has a job to do after dinner and you're not the only one left in the kitchen, because chances are that's often what happens. Everybody eats, they bring their plate from the kitchen or from the dining room if they do that at all, and you're left to put the food away, you're left to clean up the dishes, you're left to clean up the dining room, and it takes you a long time. And when we can prepare and plan for these things beforehand and make sure that you're not doing everything, then it makes it so much easier and so much better. So starting with the end in mind, I want you to start with this sheet right here. Okay, now we're going to go back to the beginning. And what we have here is I want you to make a list of the things that you already have, the things that are fresh or frozen in your freezer, because that is a great place to have on-hand fruits and vegetables, and it makes it go faster, right? Frozen is easier because most likely it's already chopped up, and food that you have in your pantry that you can use. So then I want you to write down what the meal is that you are planning to cook. Is it a recipe that you have on hand? And how are you cooking it? That's the method, right? These all help you to save time. So once you have gotten your recipe, or you know what you're cooking, you know what you're putting together, then we go here and we write it down for every day of the week. Because like I said at the beginning, you can skip breakfast, or your kids can choose what they want to eat for breakfast, but it's almost always you or your spouse that is preparing a meal. So when you have it planned out for the day, it's much easier to pivot. It's much easier to shift and say, oh, you know what? I don't really want to cook this today. I want to cook this instead, or we want to go out to dinner. And that way you have a plan instead of grasping at straws and wondering what to have for dinner. You already have a plan, and you can say, I want to follow through with that, or I want to set it aside for another day. This eliminates so much stress, okay? And then I have on here making sure that you write down whether or not you have a recipe, so you can plan both your time, I said both, your time, your ingredient, and whatever else you want to plan if somebody wants to help you in the kitchen. And usually when I have a recipe, it takes longer. So planning for that time is great, as long as I know that I have that time, like on Sundays or Saturdays. My daughter follows a recipe to a T. It bothers her to deviate, and so she cooks on Saturdays where she has plenty of time to do that. Okay, so the last thing, that is the last thing I wanted to share with you. So these 4 steps are really, really important, and I want you to write them down and let me know what step you struggle with the most, so we can dive into this on another time. But the secret to these steps is that you are not doing them all at once. Does that make sense? So for example, when I'm preparing a meal, I um, already have my spreadsheet of my ingredients that I'm putting in a meal, what I need, and what I already have on hand. So I know what I need to buy at the grocery store, but this is not the day of. I do this days before. And when I am preparing or cooking a meal, I make sure that I'm always preparing and cooking for the next meal, or for the next big meal, right, that I'm planning for. So take dinner, for example. I make sure that when I'm cooking rice or quinoa, or even beef or chicken or fish, that I'm preparing more in advance than I need, so that I can use it in another meal, and it automatically cuts down on my time. There's no need to worry about whether or not I need to put water on the stove for pasta, or rice in the rice cooker. There's no need for me to worry about whether or not I need a certain vegetable, because I've already prepared it beforehand. Does that make sense? So that is the secret to shortening your cooking time. So when you take each category and you prepare one ahead of time, then you are shortening the next one that follows. Does that make sense? So I'm going to stop sharing this now. You've seen all of the pages, and and you have now the 4 steps that you need to plan and prepare better meals with less stress, less time in the kitchen, and less grocery shopping spontaneously to having to buy the things that you don't already have in your kitchen. Okay, so my little boy is getting off the bus in a little bit, and let's see, here's a I would love to know in the chat what your biggest takeaway from this is. Let me know what you struggle with the most and what I can help you with. And if you're interested in the one-step consulting, message me, and we can jump on a call and determine if that is the way that you want to go to reach your goals. Because your health really does influence everything. When you improve your health and your improving your meals is one of the easiest way to improve your health right away. The next one is exercise, and not because we do it for weight loss, because it's not an effective tool for weight loss, but because it helps you up here. And so that's why you should focus on exercise and not for weight loss. The next thing that I say is important to focus on are tools like these to plan and prepare times when you know you're going to have to be on your A game, right? You know that people need you, and so you need to plan and prepare that time. And using tools like this perfect meal plan, cheat sheet, will help you to um, easily and more quickly get to the end result that you want. And that's exactly why we diet, why we exercise, why we do all of these different things, because we want to get there faster and easier. So if you want to get meal planning and eat healthier meals and do it in a way that's more enjoyable for you and your family, then you can grab this cheat sheet in my Facebook group. And let me know in the chat what your biggest takeaway is, so that I can offer more trainings that you need and that you want. And next week, don't forget to join me, because Cody Birch is going to join us, and he's going to talk about how to create an extra revenue stream without adding more work to your business. And if you are an entrepreneur or you are online, it doesn't matter what you do. This is something that you can add to your life to add extra revenue and do it effectively and genuinely. And Cody is a master at doing this and comes from such a place of service. I've been following him for a couple of years and worked with him off and on, and I am so thankful for all the things that I've learned from him. So I'm really, really excited that he agreed to do this with me. And there will be more trainings down the road. So some of you have said that you would benefit from talking to an expert, a therapist. So I have a therapist coming on to talk about what we do when we are kind of butting heads with our kids or trying to help them work through issues. And ourselves working through issues of patterns and habits and different things like that, that will help to reduce stress in your life, help to improve relationships, and help you to create a healthier, balanced life so you can make a bigger impact, because that's what I want to help you do. So thanks so much for joining me. I'm sorry about the imperfect method that I've shared this with. I hope that it worked out well, and I can't wait to see you on the next training. And make it a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Let's see.